This message is brought to you by W Energy. Are you a gamer, streamer, podcaster, content creator, just a gym nut? Looking for a boost of energy without the jitters or crash? Then W Energy is the way to go. No calories, no sugar, no fillers, no artificial colors. Just an energy drink packed with multiple vitamins and neurofactor. Go to www.w.gg to order your tub of W Energy now and use promo code ChaoticCulture1 to get 10% off your order. With that, let's get the show started.
You are now tuned in to the Chaotic Culture Podcast.
It's the KKP on your mother flipping airways. Hear the name ringing through the halls and the stairways. You were listening to a pod that can segue. All the latest topics guaranteed to fill your headspace. It's a safe place to voice your opinion. Say what you feel just like you're a kid again. Kid, the pro, and friends black as obsidian. Chaotic culture, that's the world we living in. So what's the word?
Long time no see, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, afternoon, and evening, and welcome to another edition of the Chaotic Culture Podcast, the pod where chaos rules and black culture is supreme. The Chaotic Culture Podcast is brought to you by W Energy, the official energy sponsor of the Chaotic Culture Podcast. Use promo code ChaoticCulture1 to get 10% off of your favorite energy flavor. This podcast will deep dive into modern black culture and how millennials and Gen Z can navigate the crazy parts from music, finances, black business highlights, content creators, home ownership, HBCU, sports, black nerddom, anime, wrestling, and so on. If it encompasses black culture, we are going to cover it. Live from the 7-5, and maybe for the last time, I am the host and the creator of the Chaotic Culture Podcast. This is your boy, Ked, a.k.a. Ked the Pro, a.k.a. the Calculator Millennial, the encore presentation. Now, can I get an encore? Do you want more? A.k.a. your favorite toxic adjacent king, Ked the Poet, Ked the Closer, Chaotic Ked, all of that good shit. The 843 is me, but VA is where I stay currently. Always chaotic, never toxic most days. Back again, once again, with your favorite black culture highlights and black culture shenanigans. We are back from taking a week hiatus. Had to get my mentals right. Y'all already know what time it was. Like, it was a lot of people were at cons, a lot of people were doing different things. So I said, you know what, let's just give myself a break. So I gave myself a little bit of a week break so that way we can get refreshed and get prepared to close out this season. But I decided, you know what, we've been doing so well with some of our interviews. It's time to bring on another guest to the podcast. Now, for our Black Artist Highlight series, once again, I am featuring a good friend of mine that I met back in the days of Hampton. At the time, of course, I had already graduated, but was still around working within the Hampton Theater Department as well as the Office of the Registrar. And I met this young lady who can really sing her ass off, for lack of a better term. So, and oddly enough, I didn't meet her anywhere like in the choruses or anything. I met her in theater, which is crazy. But since that moment, we've become good friends. There's probably more to the story than y'all care to listen to, but still, there is a lot for me to say about this young lady. She has been doing amazing things just vocally, and she has a couple of projects out right now. So if this is your first time hearing about her, let me be the first to introduce you all to Miss Imogen. Good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever the case may be. How you doing, Imogen?
Oh my gosh, thanks for all those nice words. I'm good though. Yeah, how are you?
I'm doing well. If you could just tell the audience a little bit about yourself. We'll get into the nitty gritty in just a moment, though.
Okay, well, as you know, my name is Imogen and I'm your new favorite pop star. Period, point blank. Okay.
Hey.
You think about the great pop stars of the 90s and 2000s. Okay. I'm putting myself up there really soon in that same, I'm working towards that. I'm not going to say I'm a legend yet, but I'm working towards that. Period.
Like the confidence.
I dabble. Thank you. I mean, somebody has to believe in you. You have to believe in you before other people believe in you, right? You know?
That's fair.
And I know what I bring to the table. I know what I'm destined for. This is something that I've always wanted to do since I was a kid. Like, there was no other option. So I just feel like if you have that in you from when you're young, what else is there for you to do? You know?
Hey, spot on. Once again, Imogen, thank you for joining us on the Chaotic Culture podcast. It's
Thanks
been
for
a while
having
since,
me.
and no problem. It's been a while since I've done someone who is actually an artist on my pod. I've done content creators. I've done,
Mhm.
people who have owned their own business. But so it's been a while since I've actually had someone who is an actual singer and is out there actually making records right now. And that's how the podcast started. And so I wanted to get back into the root of that. And that's why I said, you know what, let's feature someone who I know one can sing really, really well and also is doing big things right now. So naturally,
Thanks.
I had to bring you on. So
Thanks.
yes, ma'am. So, with that in mind, of course, as all of my listeners know, we start off by doing a mental health check just to be sure that we're all okay and at least, we're getting through it because life is life. And we know that life be throwing
Mhm.
curveballs and fastballs. And then sometimes it'll throw you something that you weren't prepared for. And I'll go ahead and I'll start for me. I'm at peace. My mental health right now is okay. It's not nothing bad has happened within these last couple of months, and I think it's a good thing. I got a chance to rest, as all of y'all know. I'm in between jobs, and being in between jobs is never easy because again, you don't have money on your own, or you're working on the side for a little bit of money just to keep something in your pocket, and sometimes careers take a turn. With all of my
Mhm.
qualifications and my degrees, it's like, well, can't find a job right now, but that doesn't mean that I don't have belief in myself and I don't have confidence in myself, which is why I'm
Period.
so glad that you said that at the beginning. And so with that, I'm just like, hey, you know what? If I gotta go somewhere else and start over or reset and get a chance to find another opportunity elsewhere, I'm gonna take that opportunity. And did I expect to come back or go back to South Carolina at my age? I'm almost 33. And the answer to that is no. I honestly didn't think I would be coming back into the state until, something tragic happened to my parents, God forbid, or I retired. And
Mhm.
none of those things have happened yet. And it's like, well, it's life.
Right.
Where does
Sometimes
the
you
yeah,
have a plan, and then you really the plan did not have you,
right.
and that's okay. That's okay because you know what I've realized though about life is that when you have this whole plan, because I'm not where I would have thought I would be like when you met me at Hampton,
hmm
but sometimes that's just life setting you up for something better. What you thought was the plan, there's actually a much better plan in motion, and I just have to
Absolutely.
keep in that positive space, otherwise I'll be going crazy.
No, you're not lying. And in all honesty, I've prayed multiple times about it, and I said, you know what? I'm just gonna let God move, and whatever plan
Hmm.
He has in store for me, I'll let Him direct me because that's pretty much how I've lived my life since you know, since I since I've been in this thing for real. Like ever since I gave my life to Christ, which was all the way back when I was 11, I've kind of been more of a wherever God leads, I'll follow. It ain't
And that's
my
all you
place
can
to,
do.
yeah, it ain't
That's
really
all you can do.
my place to say, oh, well, you know what, I'm gonna go here and here and not listen, because typically when God says something, I'm the first one to be like, hey, what you telling me? All right, well, let me go ahead and just go with the flow. So
Hmm.
you know what, I'm doing a lot better though, and the only thing I'm not looking forward to is actually moving. That's
Moving is the worst.
yeah, top two worst things to do in
The
life, and it's
worst.
not two.
So
it's
what's the other one?
That I
Are
don't
you
know.
just saying that?
I'm just saying that like it is top two worst things to do as an adult, and it is not number two, it is number
I
one.
thought you were thinking of something else specific, and you had like there was some other worst thing or almost
I'll get
worst
back to
thing.
you when I can think of it.
But it's okay because
Yeah.
I understand. Moving is horrible. It's the
Yeah.
worst. The worst.
Yep. Yep. So we just got to get through that. But anyway, how have you been? How's your mental health been, Imogen?
I'm good. Life is lifing, as you said. It's so funny when you said that. I was literally thinking it at the exact moment. Life
Hmm
it be lifing. But as I also said, like all you can do is go with the flow. I know what the end goal is, so I'm just going to keep working towards the end goal, try to keep my faith tight, my faith in me as well. You know, I also have to, one thing that I've been working on actively is like gratitude. Like
Mm-hmm.
even if I feel like I'm not where I would have wanted me to be at career wise or just in life in general, like when I look back at how far I've come, I have to be really proud and grateful for the things that I have. Things could be worse.
This is facts. This is
Hmm.
absolute facts. But gratitude is definitely something that I don't think about often because sometimes it just comes automatically. But at the same time, you know
Hmm.
what? When you actually sit down and think about all the things that you're grateful for, it's like, wow, And
Yeah.
I had that talk with my dad the other day. It's like, you know what? Despite everything that's been going on, I've truly lived a blessed life, and I couldn't ask for
Hmm.
anything better. So I'm grateful for
Exactly.
that.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be always because I feel the same way. Like I'm not a conscious or, I'm just grateful without being conscious about it.
Hmm.
But sometimes you really do just have to sit and have like a conscious thought, like kind of make a little mental list. Like these are all the things I've achieved. These are all the things that I have around me. And I'm grateful for them.
Absolutely, absolutely. Speaking of all the things that you achieve, let's talk a little bit about you and what you are
Oh
striving to
gosh.
do. So, when it comes to singing, you said that this is something that you've wanted to do since you were a little girl. So, tell me what actually got you into it. Like, was there somebody who inspired you to sing? Did it just come naturally? Did you grow up singing in the church? Give me the whole
Um,
background.
all of the above, honestly.
Okay.
So my mom always tells me that I was singing before I was talking.
Oh,
She is my whole family is pretty much like lover of music, lover of the arts. We're all like super artsy in our own way.
okay.
So yeah, and then around when I was like three-ish, my aunt had this piano, and so I started playing on the piano, and I guess everybody kind of realized like, oh wait, like she's actually kind of doing something on there, right? So they
Mm,
got me into piano lessons, and like I was always in choir, always singing in church, which honestly I think is what the girls are missing right now in the industry. The people are not
oh,
singing
talk
in
about it.
church anymore, and that's where you get all of the soul, all the grit. You really learn all them runs and stuff, like
Hmm.
the keys to being a musician. Even if everybody in the church isn't like a professional musician, they may not be able to tell you what they're playing, but they can hear it for sure.
Right.
And so I think that that foundation is really important. But yeah, that's just something I always wanted to do when I was a little kid, probably up until like high school. If you asked me what I wanted to be, I would say I wanted to be Alicia Keys because
Mm.
she was singing and playing piano and she was classically trained and she was just so cool and black and amazing. And I was like, yep, that's what I'm going to do. And yeah,
I feel
as
that.
I got older, I just found my niche. I really love pop music, R&B music. I love all genres, but like pop and R&B are like that's my jam for real. And I was like, yeah, this is where I want to be. I love being on a stage, which is funny because I'm really an introvert, which people don't realize. I'm so shy, but I'm a
Really?
different person on the stage.
You know what? I can attest to that because, and I say that because this is coming from someone who's like split down the middle. Like I can be extroverted, but at times I love my own peace, and I'm like,
Hmm.
but when it came from me actually meeting you for the first time, it was like, dang, is she like she's kind of like not approachable. Then I had to think to myself, like some people you gotta approach a different way, and some people you just gotta get used to. So I think
People say
performing
that
with
about me
you,
so much.
hey, but it's not to say that you're like mean or evil unless you are not telling us anything. But I think for me, it's like after I started performing with you, then I started to see who you were. And it's like, okay, okay. It takes a medium to actually open everything up. And I think the stage actually worked well for the both of us because then we could just be whoever the hell we wanted to be. And,
Yeah.
I've been a theater kid since I was 6. So it's like, okay, yeah, I get it. I trust
Mhm.
me, I get it.
Literally, like theater and just like artsy spaces, like that's where I feel like I can be myself and be comfortable. I'm not going to be comfortable right away, like ever. Like you
Hmm.
said, I often get that. Like people are like, I thought you were going to be a bitch. And then like I actually talk to you and you're actually like really nice and stuff. And I'm like, No, like that's just my face. Like I'm sitting there and I'm shy and I'm quiet because I don't have nothing to say. But like once you talk to me, I'm very nice, or I'm kind. I'll say I'm kind.
Okay, kind. Damn, that's a
Sometimes
better word.
sometimes I'm not nice, but I'm kind. I have a good heart.
Okay. And listen, kindness goes a long way. But
Mhm.
listen, I know when I see somebody and they got that look on their face, I'm like, okay, either they're in deep thought or yeah. But in
Yeah.
your case, it was just like I didn't want to approach you or anybody for that matter the wrong way because I'm always cautious with my approaches in general. So,
Mhm.
but it's good to know that someone of your caliber now is still a kind-hearted
Yes.
person. So
Yes, I'm a person who like I want to take all the people with me who want to be with me and want to support me. I want everybody to be with me. I like my friends. I'm real. And I hate saying that because I feel
mhm.
like the people who are like I'm real aren't are like the fakest people, but like I really am just like real. And I think
Listen,
I will stay that way even when I attain the level that I want to be at for my career, or that
mhm.
I feel like I'm supposed to be at. I feel like I would maintain that level of being down to earth. I think the shyness helps with that.
Hey, I get that, but I'm thankful to know you as you are now. I just ask, of course, when you do get to the level of success you want to, just remember this podcast and make sure that you bring us up too, because I'll be looking like, hey, I know her.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be the person who people are like, I know her, and I'm like, I don't know them, unless like you did
Hmm.
me dirty, then I don't know you.
Oh
But
well, yeah,
you've never done me dirty, so I don't have no
yeah.
reason. Like, yeah, I was on the podcast. Here's the link.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And listen, I'm the kind of person who will never do you dirty unless like it was unintentional and it happened to be a mistake. And then at that point, I would do everything that I can to make it up to you because
Hmm.
I'm not that kind of person. But
I'm like
in,
that mostly,
yeah,
mostly.
people are people, so I know things are gonna happen, and people are gonna make mistakes. So there's that. But as long as it was a
Hmm.
genuine mistake, I think that's the important thing. Now,
Hmm.
when it comes to your singing background, obviously, as you said that you grew up singing in the church and all of that. When you got to Hampton, was your main goal like, hey, everyone's going to hear my voice, and I'm going to make sure that it is my instrument of choice, and everyone's going to know when I'm up on stage, like they're gonna know that that's me. Like, was that your mindset coming into school, or was that something that you had to grow into?
A little bit of both. I
Okay.
don't think that intend to be like, hey, look, everyone, I'm the star, because, like I said, at the end of the day, I'm a bit of an introvert.
Mm-hmm.
But I also know what I'm capable of doing. So I know that I naturally tend to get attention in that area. And at the end of the day, like music is what I came there to study. Like
Right.
my family was actually confused when I made my concentration voice instead of piano. Like everybody
Hmm.
thought I was gonna be a pianist, and I was like, I keep telling y'all that I want to sing, so I'm gonna be a voice major. Um, but I didn't start making music or even like being Imogen until 2020 when I was about to graduate, because I've always like been the person who's making up songs and like recording myself, but I never did anything because I didn't like my voice.
Mm.
So like only in 2020 did I really start being comfortable with where my voice is at, because I look up to so many different artists, and like they're like really just powerful voices, naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have a naturally like super powerful voice. Like my voice is really light, kind of coquettish. And as I've taken more voice lessons, it's grown a lot. But at the
Mm-hmm.
time, like during school, I was just like, this is what I want to be doing, and I can't do that, and I hate that, and I don't like what my voice sounds like right now. So I kind of had to grow into being confident in my artistry.
Understandably so. As far as the voice lessons, as far as even the classes back in Hampton, how much like did you dedicate training your voice to the way it is now? Like I get that again, you made it your concentration, but how much work truly went into it? And if you can't quantify it, that's fine. But just give us an idea of how much training that you have put into this.
A lot. So as a voice major, at least at Hampton, I don't know how it is at other schools. But we had to take voice lessons every week. So obviously I went to my voice lessons every week. And then I was in you as a music major, you have to be in at least one major ensemble. So
Hmm.
obviously I wanted to be in choir. But I'm also not only am I a theater kid, I'm a choir kid also. So I was in concert choir as well, which is like the audition only choir. So I have two
Hmm.
rehearsals every week for regular choir, and then like 2 to 3 every week for concert choir. So I'm pretty much singing every day. And then I'm also just naturally a person who like I'm singing stuff every day. I'm trying to sound like Whitney Houston or Mariah Carey or
Hmm.
Ariana Grande. Like I want to be able to sing like that. So I'm gonna keep practicing until I sound like that. And I'm starting to get there actually. I'm hitting some
Oh,
whistle
okay.
tones
You,
these
you
days. I'm like, oh okay.
man, let me find out you can hit them whistle tones. What we call them.
Listen, there are only a few notes that Mariah Carey can hit that I cannot. And one
Okay.
day they're like, Fly Like a Bird.
Yes.
Yeah, there's only one note in that song that I cannot consistently hit. And one
Mm.
day I came home, I don't know what I was on, but I hit that note and I hit it like more than once because I was like, I can't believe I just did that. And then I kept running it back and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did it again. So like I feel like if I keep training, then I'll be able to do that more consistently. I'm really excited about that if you can't tell.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Listen, I'm happy for you to be able to hit those notes like that. It's not easy. And this
No.
is coming from someone who can sing and can hold a tune as well. But when you hear voices like that, you're just like, yo, that's that not only is that training, but that takes a certain kind of talent to be able to hit those kind of notes. So the fact that you
Yeah.
were even able to achieve that, that is wow. That's all I got to say is that I'm
Now,
extremely,
don't get me
extremely
wrong.
proud. Hmm.
I hope Mariah Carey don't try to come for me and be like, "Shit, I don't know her." Like I'm not saying I'm Mariah. I'm nowhere close to the type of natural talent that Mariah Carey has. But
Hmm.
can I hit the note? Yes. And we have to start somewhere.
Understood. I understand it. Trust me. Hey, look, you started the journey. The only thing is you just got to continue it. That's really all it boils down to.
Exactly.
Now, in your singing journey, obviously you have a couple of projects out there. I really kind of wanted to get into your first EP, or I think it's your first EP, which is Chaos. Can you
Mhm.
tell me a little bit of what went into that and what made you decide to just release it to the streaming platforms?
Yeah, so that was, like you said, my first ever project. Guess why? Actually, guess why was not the first song. Hijack was the first song that I ever recorded and like
Hmm.
finished, and that was produced by Nico, who also was a music major. I don't know if you know him from Hampton, but he's great, and he got me into the studio and we recorded that. And then after that, I was in Eight Misbehaving with the Hampton Players, our
Hmm.
theater program, and I met well, I didn't meet him. He was another music major. His name is Sean Tyler. And he was running lights for the show. And I think he was trying to impress me, but also, he wanted to, work together also. So he showed me this song that he was working on with some other musicians. I went to Hampton and I was like, but they weren't doing anything with it. It was Guess Why.
Hmm.
And I was like, I love this. Like, I want it. And he was like, well, I'm going to ask them if you can have it. And I was like, okay, cool. So we kept the beat. We kept Violet. We kept her
Hmm.
voices, her vocals. I mean, for the choruses, and then I wrote the rest. And like, I was like, I kind of feel like it has this like '90s vibe. So I asked some of my friends to send me like some ad libs, but I already knew what I wanted, so I don't even know why I asked other people to do it. And so I was just like, okay, Sean, just do this. This is what I have in my head. And then we came up with that and we released it. And I wanted when I did those two songs, I already had an idea for what I wanted my first project to be. I wanted it to be about this really sucky, to say the least, relationship that I was in for a
Hmm.
long time while I was at Hampton. And so like that was just kind of a way of like releasing all of those feelings, and then also like, being an artist for the first time, taking that step. I'm like really grateful to Sean for being patient with me and like working with me. We don't work as much anymore, um, because we don't date anymore. but but we worked really well together. We made really great music, and he made me feel like really comfortable in my voice. And I think that I did the same with him on the production side, because I was the first artist that he ever worked with. So yeah, that's how that project came to be. That's my baby for real.
Okay, okay. Just a quick question on that project. What is your favorite song, if you don't mind my asking?
Hmm. I've never been asked that before. That's a good question.
Hmm.
Probably Hijack. That's the
Okay.
song that I wrote completely by myself. That was the first one that I made with Nico.
Hmm.
I keep saying these people's government names, but like I should probably be using their artist name. But that's how you know that I know them for real.
Right.
um, but yeah, that's probably my favorite, and I think that one was the most personal, and I just really like the vibes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And the reason I asked that is because I remember Guess Why, and I remember the first time that you had posted it on social media, and I actually went to listen, and I was like, wow, okay, okay, so Imogen really doing something. Let's go, let's
Oh,
go. So
thanks.
had to hype you up a bit and let you know that, of course, listen, I may not always be talking, but I'm always listening, if nothing. So
Thanks.
yes,
That's
ma'am. Yes,
actually
ma'am.
really good to hear. That's really good to hear. Because
Oh,
sometimes,
oh.
you know, like as an independent artist, you feel like nobody cares what I'm doing. Like I'm
Hmm.
just not getting where I want to be. But then every now and then you hear like stories like that, and you're like, that's not why I do this, but like that's why I'm gonna keep not worrying about who's listening. Like someone is gonna listen, and someone's gonna like it.
No, you are absolutely spitting, and I applied that same logic to this podcast. I'd say, listen, if
Mhm.
I get one view or two listens or five listens or 30, 100, it don't matter.
Mhm.
I want to continue to do this because I know that this is something that I love, and it's just very important to me. And that's also why I'm also a part of two other podcasts, because I like doing this kind of thing. Sometimes it can get weary because sitting in one spot for 3 to 4 hours, shout out to Shogo High, it can get tiresome
Mhm.
and cumbersome on top of that. But it's something that I enjoy doing. And so that's why I think it's very important that no matter like how many views or how many listens you get, if it's something that you're passionate about, continue doing it. And I'm looking on Spotify right now, and I'm like, okay, well, she's getting a lot more listens than a lot of other people that I know, who say
Mhm.
that they want to be artists, but ain't really putting in the work. And with that in mind, it's like, yo, just keep going. That's all that I
Thank
can tell you.
you. I say the same things. I like what is the saying? Comparison is the thief of joy.
Yes,
I'll
yes,
be feeling
absolutely.
that. So I try not to compare myself to what other people are doing because I know I'm doing my thing and I'm doing it well.
Hmm.
And you are too. So yeah, keep up the podcast.
Yes, appreciate it, appreciate it. Now let's talk a little bit about control. And what was your idea behind your first full length project?
Well, it's really that simple. I want to do a full length project.
Hmm.
Um, it's really important to me, even from my first EP, but everything that I do, it's important to have like, um, I like eras and like themes
Hmm.
and full bodies of work that are art. You know, like Beyonce, and I think it's in one of her documentaries. I don't think it was a regular interview, but she was talking about how people nowadays just put out singles and all they care about is like, making the money. They don't care about the actual art of it.
Hmm.
And that's what I do this for. This is art for me. Um, so I wanted to do a full project. I wanted it to be sort of a continuation of chaos. So we go from chaos to control. So
Hmm.
now it was like kind of about me feeling like I'm taking control over my life and my emotions after everything that I had been through before. Um, yeah, and I just wanted it to mean something.
Hey, listen, I definitely got that. And listening through it, I in the back of my head, I was like, well, you know what? I listened to it the first time, but let me go back and listen to it again because I know sometimes And a lot of times when you listen to a project, it takes more than just one listen to actually conceptualize what you've got and the project that you dropped. So I went back and was listening to some of the lyrics, and I just gotta say, I'm like, you were really feeling yourself on this album, because I definitely got princess and brat behavior from some of them songs. So I just wanted to
That's
know,
who
was
I
that like
am.
okay, well, there it is.
That's who I am. I mean, like it's a part of my brand or whatever, but essentially, like that's who I am. I am the princess of my family. I do not like to be told no. I like to be in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just who I am. Like people might think like this is all just, a brand or whatever, a facade, but like what you see online, like that it's not the whole me, but that's really me. I like to be in control. And that's why it was important for me to make sure like I let y'all know I'm not staying in the chaos. I am taking control of this, and I'm gonna let you know what the deal is. Okay.
I,
Period.
I I definitely felt that, especially when I put on when I listened to Lip Gloss, and I guess you were telling a story about a dude telling you no, and you just didn't hear it because you were too busy
Yeah.
putting on your
Too
lip gloss. I
busy
was
putting
like,
on my lip gloss.
wow.
I don't know what that means. I don't. I don't.
As she puts on her lip gloss.
Exactly.
Hey,
I
more
don't know what
power
the
to
word
you.
no means until I'm the one saying it.
Mm-hmm.
Then,
That's
I know the full extent of that.
right. For my Twitter community, y'all know how I feel about Brat, so I'm just gonna leave that right there and
Oh my
just move on.
goodness. Yeah, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on is what we're gonna do. You're a menace on Twitter, sir,
Hey,
and you need to be stopped.
I've been chilling these last couple of months, for real, for real. I've been
You need to
cool.
be stopped.
Ah, man, look. But if y'all get on like any other social media, I'm chill, I'm relaxed, I'm professional. You get on Twitter, that's a whole other side of Ked that you just like, whoa, okay.
No, when I first started seeing your tweets and stuff, I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, when you meet someone and you're like, there's something else there, and
Mhm.
I obviously never went deep into that. Hampton, this is my friend. When I see him, hey, so happy to see you. But following you on Twitter, I was like, there it is, there it is, there's the other thing.
Look, a lot of people don't know that until, again, yeah, they follow my Twitter. And even on my podcast page, I've let a little bit of myself leak out into it, but I've still tried to keep it mainly clean, mainly. But
Mhm.
yeah, you follow my personal page, it's like, look, whatever happens,
Hey,
whatever you
let
see on that
your let
page.
your flag fly. I am
Yeah,
pro being yourself.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
if you want
And
to be a menace to society, then go ahead.
don't tell me that. Like, get on Twitter right now and say something crazy, and they're gonna look at me like, whoa. Nah, I've
Just don't
yeah.
tell them I made you do it.
No, oh, no. I'm not gonna say that. Um, let's talk, I guess, more after you've completed the project. Now, when you've released it, I just wanted to know like how you felt about it, how your family felt about it, and what were all like your friends in your circle saying about the project.
I was nervous. And also I do want to make sure that I give a shout out to Sean Tyler because we definitely did that together. Um, I like to give credit where it's due, no matter
Hmm.
where we are, with whoever I work with. So without him, that project wouldn't be the project that it is. That being said, it is still my project. So yeah, I was really nervous to put it out. I was nervous about what people were gonna think. I was nervous about lip gloss because that was, a more explicit song and everything. And I still care about what my family thinks of me. So I was nervous about it, but I had an album release party for it.
Hmm.
And I performed at the party and everything, and people really liked it. It was nice seeing people's reactions live. I had them do like little confessionals where they talk about the album and everything. I still haven't watched it to this day. It's been like over a year. I still haven't watched them. I'm nervous to see what people said, but they wrote me like notes on a poster board and everything that they really loved it. And people still talk about the songs. Obviously, those are more of the songs that I'm performing now.
Hmm.
And people really like them. So that makes me really happy because I'm glad that people like my work as much as I do.
Okay, okay. Just like with Chaos, I'm going to ask, is there any particular song on Control that you truly love and that's your favorite?
Without a doubt, my favorite is probably Roster. And I want to make a video to it, but I have a feature on there and he lives in California. So like I want to try and figure that out. But Roster
Okay.
is definitely my favorite song because like that's a sentiment that I use in real life. Like they really do want to be on the roster.
I like that.
They really do. You
You
know.
know, I had a classmate ask me like who I had on my roster. I'm like, I ain't got nobody on my roster. I'm chilling right now. But
And that's also okay.
yeah,
Sometimes the roster exists and nobody is on it. But like
well,
there's always people riding the bench, or they could be riding the bench. It's just a matter of recruitment, you know?
you got a point there.
Yeah, and luckily for me, when I want to recruit somebody, it's not that hard. So because
Oh
as I
boy.
said, they want to be on my roster.
Hey, if y'all haven't known by now, if y'all haven't figured it out by now, I'm telling you, like this one right here, she's definitely confident, but I always give her credit for her confidence. And you know what? I ain't mad at it. I
I
am
just
not
I
mad
just
at it.
have to be real, like
Yeah.
I'm confident in myself, but I'm also real. Like I know what I look like. I know the energy I give off, and the people love it. I'm the people's princess. What can I say?
Hey, wear that
It's a
crown.
blessing and a curse.
Yeah, wear it high, wear it high. Listen,
Hello, and I wear it well.
yeah, indeed. I will never be the person to knock that crown off. If anything, I'm gonna keep putting it back on if someone tries to knock it off. Like, nope, nope,
Thank you.
princess behavior. Here it go, right here.
Thank you. It's
You
what I
know,
deserve.
it, I'm letting her cut up right now, y'all. But okay, we've talked about your projects that you've done.
Mhm.
Now, I did want to ask: is there anything that you're currently working on? If you can talk about it. Now, if you can't, I ain't gonna press it. But if it's something that you can talk about, give as much detail as you want to give.
I do have something in the works.
Okay.
I released a single from it already, which was Nice Guy. Shout out to the Pink Wikiana. Yeah, so my next project is definitely um this one's more, I feel like, self-worth, more there's a different story being told. Like my last two, they were about me, of course, but they were about like, kind of moving on from relationships and stuff. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that this next project, my intention is to kind of explore more themes of like self growth and grief and things like that. So I'm really excited for it. And like I said, I'm a person who like really values a good era and everything. So,
Mm-hmm.
stay tuned. When you see me switch up my hair, switch up my style, you know what's up. It's coming. Imogen is
Word.
coming.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. Just again, keep me in the loop whenever you do drop into the project, so I can make sure that I, pay attention and listen to it. Whatever singles that you got going
And
on,
will.
definitely. Um, Well, considering that I'm more than likely about to end up a little southern than I intended, but if you've got any like performances and whatnot that I might be able to get to, just let me know as well because I got plenty of friends and family that live in the DMV anyway. So, and I'm
For
like,
sure.
yeah, it's just a matter of hey, I got this performance. You got anything going on? If I ain't working or if I ain't busy doing whatever, then it's like, man, let me just go ahead and hop in my car and make that drive.
For sure. And really, realistically, I want to start like touring this year. Like,
Okay.
I've done performances in this area and in New York and stuff, but like, oh, is that
Mm-hmm.
me out here?
That
Yeah.
was by mistake because I was trying to get to something on your page, but it was just like I didn't mean to press play. But yeah,
It's okay. The world needed to hear it.
you right. But okay, you got any ideas on like where you want to start touring?
I don't know, just along the East Coast.
Okay.
Um, California, I have a friend named Arlena who's doing really big things in the pop alt scene over there. I don't know. I kind of want to do something with her over there and do something cool. And like I said, Emil, who's the feature on roster, he lives in California, and I just kind of feel like that song deserves a video, even though like I'm in a new era now. I just kind of feel like the idea that I've had since the inception of that song for a video deserves to be seen. So
Okay.
I don't know. I think that's probably where California and the East Coast is probably where it start.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I can't wait to see what you're doing. I can't wait to see where you go as far as performances and
Thanks.
touring. Yes, ma'am. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the interview portion of this episode. Now we are going to do a quick check here. And the quick check is that I just wanted to know if there are any new albums or there are new artists that you want to put people onto. What and they can be famous, they can be semi-famous, they could be people that we have no idea about. And all I ask is that you put us on so that way we can listen to it.
Okay, let me put y'all on. Okay, number one, Ari Lachelle. Okay,
That
that's
part.
my best friend, and not only is she my best friend, she's super talented. Y'all might have heard her song when you were watching Power. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
because she's a celeb. Okay, Big Boy knows her name. Pharrell knows her. Chloe knows her.
Mm-hmm.
All right, she's that girl, and her music is actually good. If I'm saying their name right now, you know their music is actually good because I don't advertise just anybody. Okay. So Ari Lachelle, she just dropped
Mm-hmm.
an EP, kind of house music-ish. Zay Blaze dropped an album. That album was really good. He's a very
Absolutely.
talented individual. And he also did the beat for Nice Guy, which was my drill song, kind of pop drill song.
Okay.
And then someone who's like famous who I'm really happy is getting their flowers right now is Tori Kelly. Do you listen to her?
Yes. Yes.
I
Yes.
love her
Love her.
so bad. I saw her like first on Vine when she made a little Vine. She was like, "Hope you have a really good day."
Mm-hmm.
I, if I could sing like Tori Kelly, I would never shut up. And that's saying something because I never shut up as it is. Oh my gosh, she's so good. That song she was just featured on, Bridge Over Troubled Water. Have you heard
Mm-hmm.
that?
I don't know if
Her
I got to that one yet,
You
but
should listen to it. The whole song is great. No offense, I could have gone without a certain person's part in the middle, but honestly, I skip to Tori Kelly's part every single time. Like, she is just that good. Like, I don't even care about the rest of the song. I'm listening for
mm,
her. And I saw the behind the scenes on TikTok of her recording it. She did that in each run, she did that in one take. And
yeah.
the guy who was recording it was just like, and he's awesome too, because to be able to hear that and even tell her to sing that is crazy. But like, he would just like do this little crazy run and be like, "Can you do that?" And then she would run it back even better than what he gave it to her. And I just, mind blown. If
Yeah.
I could do that, you would never hear the end of it. I
No,
would be
I
on
feel you.
Instagram singing all day, every day. Y'all would be tired of me.
I get it. I get it. Listen, I listened to Tori's last album that she just dropped. And I'm listening into it in the gym, and I'm just like, yo, her voice is crazy. Like,
It's so
how?
crazy. And the runs just come out. She just opens her mouth and they just come out so easily. Like, how are you
Mhm.
doing that? There's some like, what's that oil called? The W40 or
WD
something.
40.
Yeah, she's got that in her throat.
Mhm.
Like, oh my gosh. The way the runs just come out and her range is just crazy. She's just crazy. She's insane. She's inhuman.
No, I 100% I feel that. If y'all haven't listened to Tori's latest album, definitely check that out. I've been a fan of her since I first heard her first album in 2016, I believe. I can't believe it's been that long.
Is that the one that
And
Coffee is on?
I think so. Let me
I
check
love
the list
that
because
song.
yeah, let's see. Let's go back. Let's go back to Unbreakable Smile and
Oh, I think
uh
I know which one you're talking
this
about.
is
I like
our
that one
lot of
too.
yeah. Um
She's just good. She's just
She
amazing.
really
I
is. I
just
I
I love
remember
her.
the first time I heard Hollow on that song. I was like, oh my gosh! But it's crazy because I didn't know Tori's like full background. of where she came from and like where her family's from. Because when I first like saw her, I was just like, yo, who is this white girl and why
Right?
can she sing like that? But I was just like, wait a
Right?
minute. Yeah, and then you learn about her background. I'm like, oh, she ain't all the way white. Oh,
There is
okay.
some Negro in
Yeah.
those vocal cords.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Absolutely.
She is cut from the cloth, the same, Caucasian but Negro cloth
Hmm.
that Tina Marie is cut from.
Yes.
And there's somebody else I'm thinking of, and I cannot think of her name for the life of me. But she got one of those songs where like you hear them your whole life and you thought they were black, and then you see them and you're like, white.
Hmm.
She's just she's so good. I'm so
Yeah.
jealous, but also in awe.
Yeah, I remember a lot of people when they first it's old school song. Bobby
Mhm.
Caldwell, What You Won't Do for Love.
Yes.
A lot of people assumed that he was black. I was actually one of
Hmm.
the few to remember, no, this is a white dude because I remember seeing like this is like right when I got to college, and I remember finding it
Hmm.
out in college, and then somewhere along the line in between there before he passed, and now they were like, "Oh my God, Bobby Caldwell's white," and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, he is because I remember, and if I did not get that reminder, I would have gone without my life thinking like, oh well, yeah, but someone reminded me like when I saw the post on Twitter that yo he actually is white, and it was just like, oh
Yes.
duh.
Mind
And
blown every
yeah.
time. It's like new information every time you're reminded, like, oh my
Hmm.
gosh. And not to say, I want to make sure that I make it clear, like, not to say like white people can't sing, but
Oh
the
yeah,
type of
absolutely.
soulfulness that is in these people voices is like, where did you get? You fooled me.
Yeah.
You sure fooled me.
Where
You
did that
know
come
who does
from?
that song really well though? I like Snow Allegra's version of What You Won't Do for Love.
Actually, yes. I've heard her
Yeah.
version.
I
And yeah, she
honestly
does it well.
like kind of like her version better. Which
Really?
they're actually, well, they have different vibes, right?
Hmm.
So the first one, the original Bobby's version, obviously that's the original, that's the
Hmm.
king, you know, and that's like fun. That just makes me think of being at a cookout, with my family and stuff. But something about Snow's version is just like, it just feels so like it gave it a whole different meaning, like the slow tempo, and it just feels like you really feel how minor it is, and it just feels so bittersweet. Like, I don't
Hmm.
know. To me, like when I listen to Bobby's version, it's like, this is the woman I love. I would do anything for you, right?
Right.
But Snow's version to me, like it sounds like almost sad, like how much you would do for this person. I don't
Mm.
know. It adds more depth to it to me, and I like that.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And when you look at the history of the song "What You Won't Do for Love," it kind of is a sad song, kind of.
Yeah.
But I think you make an excellent point because Snow Allegra actually brings out the sadness when you listen to
Hmm.
it because it's slower. It's not. It doesn't have like a funk groove behind it like Bobby's does, and you're just like, oh wow, this is so like kind of melancholy. So
Yeah.
I definitely get where you're coming from.
Yeah. I love it though. She did
Yeah,
that.
it's a great cover. It is a great cover. With that, y'all, I'm just gonna make one recommendation. Uh,
Yeah. What's yours?
and I can't believe I'm actually kind of saying this, but Bryson Tiller, I'm thoroughly impressed with his last album.
I haven't listened to his new album, but I've heard mixed reviews. And I
I
feel
will.
like the mixed reviews, a lot of them is like hating, like
Hmm.
just because they wanted something different from him.
Yeah.
But I haven't listened to it myself, so I don't have
So,
any. I listened to the single from it, and I was like, oh, this is not what I was expecting.
hmm this is me because I was one of the few people who I liked trap soul, but I wasn't in love with trap soul.
Really?
And yeah, it was one of those things where because I was more of a I'm really strongly like ingrained in my 90s and 2000s like R&B sounds. It doesn't
Mhm.
necessarily have to be the exact same, of course, as we go through times because with time, comes changes in music. But
Mhm.
like hearing trap soul didn't really do a lot for me just from I want to turn this on and just play it in my car. Now, when there were other shenanigans going on, it's like, yeah, okay, cool. This is a great album to play. But if it's just me listening to it in my spare time, that wasn't me. That being said, I listened. I didn't like True to Self. Anniversary was okay, and so hearing this album is like, oh, okay, like this feels like a Bryson Tiller album. This feels more like what we got with Trap Soul. Is it the exact same? No, but that's a good thing. And honestly, I appreciate it for the work that he put in because I actually like this. But his other two, in between Trap Soul and this one, I will never go back to ever again. So that's just me personally.
But you know what? He wouldn't go back to them either because I've seen like interviews and like tweets and stuff from him and him saying like those were like the stuff that he just did to fulfill his contract. Like his heart wasn't even in it. That's what the label wanted. And so I feel like, I don't know, it makes me happy to hear that you like his new work because it sounds like, based on what he's saying, like this is more of the stuff that he wanted to make.
Right.
You know? Like, which is what he did with Trap Soul. Like, that's what he wanted to put out.
Absolutely. So I'm thankful that he put out that project. I have not gotten to Party Next Door's album P4 that dropped this past Friday.
That album cover is crazy.
But yeah, I wanted to mention that. Like the album cover, I was like, yo, you gotta chill, bro. But
and like on one hand, like I could see the concept. You know what it reminds me of? It's like when you have like those random amateur photographers who like you look at the photo shoot and it's just like a naked girl doing the most random thing ever, and you're just like, what was the concept here? Like it feels like you just want to take a naked photo of a woman, you know, and that's what that album cover gives me. You could have executed this so much better, and it would still be scandalous, but it would look like, you know, artsy. This looks like you're a creep. It's like, this is weird. This looks like somebody's amateur video and you took a screenshot of it and threw a parental advisory label on the bottom. Like,
I've noticed that a lot of album covers will be like, it'll just be some random photo, parental advisory, and then you find out it's somebody's album. It's like, okay, where was the creativity in that?
I hate that so bad.
Yeah.
I hate it so bad. Like, you threw this together. I could tell you made this on Canva. You didn't even make this on Canva. You made this on Instagram. And this is coming from someone who some of my single covers or album covers have been made on Canva or Instagram. But could you tell right away?
No.
But that was a Pornhub screenshot. That came from his camera roll. And he said, "Ooh, baby, you look really good. Can I use this?"
I've been hearing good things about the album, but yeah, that cover is absolutely crazy. So I'm with you on there. And when I listen to the album, ladies and gentlemen, I will get back to you and I'll let you know my thoughts. But
yeah, I want to know your thoughts. Do they match? And do they match the album cover? I hope not. I hope the music is better than the album cover.
I certainly hope not myself. But
you know what? He got people talking, so props to him.
You know, there was a way because he hadn't dropped an album in quite some time, so that was a way to get people to be like, "Whoa, okay." So it works. It's publicity. With that in mind, I definitely wanted to just circle back real quick because you did mention Ari Lachelle. Ari Lachelle was on, I believe, either the 4th or the 5th episode of this podcast, or maybe the 6th. This is all the way back in season 1 in 2020. So I definitely just wanted to give her flowers here. Ari, if you do get an absolute chance to listen to it, just please know that myself and Imogen are giving you your flowers right here and right now. I do so almost every episode when I do the rundown anyway, but I just wanted you to hear that coming out of my mouth in an actual statement. So listen back to it, let us know what you think, and definitely just hit us up again because I definitely would love to have you again and talk about your music journey from 2020 to where it is now, because you've made a lot of strides since then. So
she really has. She's so cool. Like, not even saying that from the bias of being one of her best friends. Like, she's so cool.
Like, I've always loved her. Like, she's such an infectious personality. So I've definitely always appreciated her ever since I met her. That's so With that, I'm going to go from artists that we love to someone that I have a disdain for now. And
Okay,
after
who?
this will be the end of the interview, and I'll just have to leave it at that.
Okay.
For my audience, y'all know if I talk about certain people and I start like using their governments and whatnot, then that means that I particularly don't care for them. What art aside, their personalities are like, no, you're not good people. That
Mhm.
is the true for Daystar Peterson, aka Tory Lanez, and
Boo.
yeah, yeah,
Boo,
and this
little
the same.
leprechaun.
We on the same page. The same goes for a particular rap artist. And Imogen, don't kill me for this, but Onika Tanya Mirage Petty, great,
I love
great rapper.
her, but I
But
think that she is driving her legacy into the ground, and it's
um,
really hard for me to watch because I do love her. I mean, like, I just
listen, and I am a person who will listen to her albums, and I'm like, yo, she is one of the greatest to do it, to get behind the mic.
she really
But
is.
but her as a person, I can't do it. I'm sorry, I just can't. I gotta
I
stay away
want
from
better for her. I
Yeah,
do. I think she deserves better. But I think that I think she's also gone through a lot
yes, she has.
in life and like in the industry, and that probably just, didn't make things any better. Now, Nikki, if you ever see this, I love you, girl. Please don't send the barbs after me. I love you. But
Uh,
also do better, girl. Do better.
yeah, I've
Do
said this on
better.
my pod multiple times. Like, look, I'm ready for the barbs. If y'all want to dox me, do so at your own peril. But let me
And
not
I'm
send
not
threats
inviting
across
the like
the web.
I'm not threatening the barbs. Those people are
No,
crazy.
they are.
And
They are.
and I'm like, I feel like I'm half a barb. I'm a bar. because
Bars nuts.
yeah, because now like being a barb is just associated with being like this crazy person who just like it's like a cult kind of,
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
especially on Twitter. And I don't like that.
Yeah, they doxed or tried to dox one of my friends, and
Really?
actually one of my pod mates. Yeah, and yeah, whoo boy, we all got into it. Like we was ready to like go to war, but
Oh my
thankfully cooler
god.
heads prevailed. So yeah,
Yeah, I'm
that's why.
glad.
Yeah, but to get off of the subject of Onika and Daystar, and I
Okay.
really wanted to mention this that happened about a couple weeks ago, and this is just kind of a reoccurring thing. Brian McKnight, please come to the front, sir. I just have to get this
No,
off.
he can't stay in the back.
Yeah, yeah. I just got to say this, and then we can continue further. But I had to rant about this, y'all. There is absolutely no way that you can be a sane person and do the things that Brian McKnight is doing to his family. And I'm not talking about his new family. I'm talking about the with the kids and the ex-wife that he has. It's so infuriating to see someone invoke the name of my Lord God and call out his children as evil and born of sin. And
I think I did see that.
yeah, absolutely. And to say that they were like he wanted nothing to do with them and that they're illegitimate, especially his daughter. I'm looking at that and seeing how he treats his new family and like, oh, I'm finally a girl dad when you've been a girl dad.
Yeah, that's
And yeah,
crazy.
and just the fact that you would even tell your son, Brian McKnight Jr., to change his name so you could give that name to your newborn son. It,
He
it's it
did that?
is Yes, he tried to do that. His son refused, so Brian went and changed his name so that his newborn son can have
What did he change his
his
name
name.
to?
I'll tell you in a bit. It is because it's some sort of island name. I
That is crazy work, though.
Yeah, very. I will,
That's diabolical. I'm sorry. That is
and
straight up evil.
this is why it is Brian Kayanoa Makoa McKnight Senior. That is what he changed his name to, so
Is
that way
he
his
like a part of some kind of culture where that name would make sense, or he just picked that name out of the
I th-
stars?
I think his new wife is some sort of Pacific Islander. Don't get me to lying, but that would make more sense considering what his son's name is, because his wife's name is Leilani Mendoza.
Mm.
So I'm figured she's some sort of Pacific
Mhm.
Islander, but again, don't get me in a line about that. But yeah, it's just so crazy because his birth name was Brian Kelly McKnight, and his son is Brian Kelly McKnight Jr. So just
That's sad.
seeing, yeah, it's just very sad, and it's just really disheartening to see that he would use Bible verses to try and shame his children that he had in his previous marriage. And pretty much it's one thing, like, if your children are cut off and things like that, man, you still love them and you still care for them and want to be with them. It's just the fact that he says all kinds of disparaging things towards them,
Mhm.
and the fact that he treats them pretty much worse than shit, excuse my language. It really did something to me as far as like my anger. Like, I've never been angry with a celebrity a day in my life like that, and I don't know this guy from a can of paint, but I don't want to, from the way that he
Mhm.
treats his family on social media. It just did not make any sense to say that, that you disown your children because they were born of sin. My brother, that makes you the sinner.
Right?
So
Like, how does that? But you know what? People like that. And I will preface this by saying that not all Christians are like that. And I will say real Christians who uh, live their life the way that they claim,
mhm,
that they're supposed to live their life are not in this category. But a lot of Christians will try and use like different Bible verses and whatnot. People who are not actually of Christ to justify their evil behavior. And I don't get that. And that's back
mhm,
even when they started translating the Bible and turning things into all kinds of other evil types of meanings. But
yes,
that is just wild to me, because how can you say that you are a Christian and you follow these commandments and the beatitudes and whatever? You can tell I went to church. Okay.
yes, absolutely.
um how can you say that you're of that and then turn around and say that about your kids, and not even just say that, but online, like to the whole
Mhm,
world, and you're a celebrity. Like, so it's not even just like, your 5 followers on Instagram are gonna see it. Like, the whole world is seeing your hatred for your family. Like, these
yeah,
people wouldn't be here if you didn't, like,
right.
that's
And
crazy.
it's just, it is really, I don't know. It's just mind blowing to see that and to hear that, and the fact that his new family allows that. Like, I would, if I were dating somebody right now or married to somebody right now, and I had kids from a previous marriage or outside of a previous marriage, and I start talking mess about them, I would hope that my wife would look at me like, "How dare you disrespect your kids
Yeah,
like that? They are your
that would be a
kids."
turn off.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now
It.
we're also looking at her sideways because
Mhm.
what it and I what but that makes me wonder, did he feel this way since they were younger? Like, is he angry at the ex-wife, or is this a
I
new wife thing? Like, are they in cahoots with hating the kids? Like, what's the vibe?
I wish I knew. I honestly wish I did, because I remember that there were like interviews and whatnot that he would bring his kids to, and he even featured them not even so long ago, like maybe 10 or 12 years ago. He would have his sons with him, singing with him.
Really?
So it's just like,
That's
where did
sad.
this turnaround come from? And
Yeah.
it really sucks, because one of his sons is actually battling cancer. And the fact that he could,
Really?
yeah, the fact that he's treating them like this makes it even more infuriating. I cannot
There's
understand it
just
for the
levels
life
to
of
this
me.
evil.
Yes, yes, I don't get it. I do not get it.
Wow.
So,
I
to my
wouldn't have put
audience,
that on my
mhm,
bingo card,
I,
like, at
yeah,
all. Child me I used to be singing back at one like I was Brian McKnight in my head.
hmm,
You couldn't tell me I wasn't killing that key change. And now I don't know, but I feel like that's a lot with a lot of these celebrities. Like, we just talking about like Nicki Minaj and stuff. Like, these people are not good people.
they're not.
Did he? Well, I don't think anybody ever thought that he was a good person. But like, but oh my gosh, like when you see the levels of evil that these people are, it's like, why are you like that? I guess it's
Yeah.
none of my business why you're like that. I just need to move accordingly. But also, like, why?
Hmm. And I have that same mindset. And granted, I used to be able to listen to Brian McKnight all the time on my 90s playlist. Anytime I played on a Brian McKnight song came on, I'd be right there, singing. But now
Mm-hmm.
knowing, what his true personality is and what it's become and how he treats his family, it's like it gets the he who shall not be named kind of treatment. Like I have to skip it.
Mm,
And it's really
yeah,
hard because, when you make great songs, but it turns out you're a piece of shit human being, I cannot separate the artist from the art in most cases. So I have
yeah, it's
to
hard.
click away. Like,
I be feeling guilty.
mm,
And I'm like, why? But why is that? Like, why are some of the most talented people so evil? Like, it infuriates me for them being evil and like whoever their victims might be of their
mhm.
evilness. Like, I feel angry for them, but also selfishly, I feel angry for me because why would you make this great song and then be a bad person? And now I gotta feel guilty if I'm listening to it, or I gotta cut it completely out of my playlist. And now I can only listen to it in my head. Like,
Yeah, questions that need
why would
answers
you do
because
that?
boy, I can't tell you how like struggle it was when he who shall not be named, uh, when we find out everything that he did, and it's just like, bro, this man had so many hits in the 90s and wrote so much music. It is
Mhm.
really like, oh my gosh.
It's so
Now,
tragic.
yeah, and
My
I
mom used to
was,
play that album all the time. Like, the one with the bow on it,
uh-huh.
in the factory.
Yes.
I could sing that album front to back. There's so many good songs on there, and I will never hear them again.
Yep.
Like, I heard blank 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 in love.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to, I heard that in public one time and I was like fighting myself to sing it. Like I was like, don't sing it, don't sing it. Why
Listen.
would you do that to me?
Hey, yeah, every time that song comes on, I'm like, I can't listen to this the same. But I really can't listen to a certain bump and grind. I
I
cannot
was
listen to
thinking
it the
about
same
that the
anymore.
other day
Yeah.
because I was listening to a Chris Brown song,
Mm-hmm.
another equally talented and terrible individual.
Yes.
But an old song came on and he did the little like my body is telling me yes, that thing. And I was thinking about like the original song and I was like, that is just so weird to think about. Like you were saying this about children. Your mind
Yes.
really was telling you no, and your
Mm-hmm.
body was telling you yes. Like here the rest of us thought this was an innocent little like, oh yeah, I understand, but no, you were really fighting demons in there
Yeah. Yeah.
and not very well.
Yep.
You were losing the fight for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so with that, to my audience, it's really hard when some of your favorite artists are, the way that they are. And even going back to like the days of like Take Six and just being reminded of who Brian McKnight is as a person, it no longer like just does anything for me. So I have to put it down. But that being
Tragic.
said, like we are, and I always say this on this podcast, just be mindful of who your heroes are and who your idols are, because you don't know them people in real life and
Mm-hmm.
you don't know what they got going on. On top of the fact that you don't know what their real personalities are. And some of these people are not good people. And
Mm-hmm.
you just have to take it with a grain of salt. Like every celebrity is not a good person. So, Imogen, when you get to where you need to be, please stay genuine. Please stay a good
You don't
person.
even have to
Please.
worry about that. I'm gonna
Okay.
be I'm gonna be looking at the crazy people. I'm gonna be in the parties like, you want to do what? Why? I'm calling the police right now.
Please.
Like,
Please.
and don't try to blackball me. You don't want to do that. You don't
Mm.
want to do that. No, you're being a weirdo. I'm calling out everybody.
Hey,
All
more
right.
power to you. Please.
Yeah.
Please.
To all my fans, and all my future fans, and even to my haters, you don't got nothing to worry about with me.
I like the sound of that. I like the sound of that. So before we get up out of here, of course, I did want to ask you some rapid fire questions. So of course, you just have to pick
I'm
one or the
nervous for
other.
this.
Sometimes I throw some curveballs in there, and then sometimes I have some pretty easy ones. So,
Okay.
to the best of your abilities, answer them what you think and how you feel the best at these answers.
You making me
So,
scared.
all right, first rapid
Okay.
fire question. If you go to a restaurant, do you pick the Alfredo or the chicken tenders?
Chicken tenders. I am a picky eater. I don't like Alfredo. Honestly, the answer is neither because I like nuggets better than I like tenders. So that's how deep it is.
Okay, wasn't expecting
Yeah.
that, but okay.
People try to make fun of me and be like, "Oh, you order chicken tenders at the restaurant. You're loud and wrong. You're loud and wrong." No, I don't.
Oh man, listen.
And you know what's funny is I never even tried chicken until my senior year of high school. That was the first time I ever had meat ever.
Oh really?
So like I just feel like I'm allowed to pick a chicken tender.
I don't blame you for that one. I had to ask because I know that those two are usually like the most basic things that people can order, and I'm like, okay, but all right.
I'll be the person at the Met Gala who I think Tiana Taylor ordered Chick-fil-A into the Met Gala one time, and I am so grateful for her for doing that because now I know that is possible. And if I order Chick-fil-A while I'm up in the Met Gala because I don't want whatever weird soup they're serving, me and Tiana could be in the back eating chicken nuggets.
I got you. All right. Next one. Mixed drink or straight shots?
Mixed drink.
Okay.
For sure.
Reality TV or sports?
Reality TV. Do I look like I like sports?
I gotta ask these questions.
Reality TV.
I got you. Okay. Classical music or R&B?
R&B.
Okay.
Yeah.
R&B or pop music?
Why would you pit two baddies against each other?
Just to see what your reaction would be.
Can I plead the fifth? I don't know.
Oh no, not you pleading the fifth.
I don't know.
I can make it more specific. Let's do.
What can we give some decades? Some
yeah,
examples?
Sure. Let's do 90s R&B versus 2000s pop.
I'm gonna kill myself. Oh my gosh. I probably listen to. I was gonna say I listen to more 2000s pop, but that could kind of be a lie too. Plus, I feel like, and this is completely like getting rid of the whole rapid fire thing because I got all these long answers. But I just feel like in the 2000s, like pop and R&B were kind of like synonymous.
They were.
Like a lot of the R&B artists were making like you hear all the R&B influence in those pop songs. Like even like Britney Spears music, NSYNC music. You hear that these people are around Negroes. There are Negroes in the room. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna go with 2000s pop.
Hey,
I hope they don't eat me up in the comments.
All right, next one. This one might be easy. Beyonce or Taylor Swift?
Beyonce. Can you be for real? Can you be for real?
Hold that thought. Beyonce or Rihanna?
Once again, you're asking me to kill myself. You're asking me to kill myself. I'm not answering that one. Don't pit two baddies against each other. Women supporting women.
I get you. This is where I get a lot of people because I'll put their favorites up against each other, and this is like you got to pick one, but I'll let you slide.
You really hate me with that one. Beyonce is like who I admire. Like I think her voice is amazing. Her artistry is amazing. Her work ethic is amazing. Like as far as like career path, I think I would be more aligned with Beyonce. But like Rihanna, like I'm her son for real. Like I am that lady's son. Look at this wig. I am her son. Like she is my queen for real. So like I love everything that she did in the pop space. So I don't know.
Fair.
Both
listen.
B Rana.
Hey, I'm with it. B Ron, you heard it here first. All right. Let's switch it up a little bit. Gospel
Okay.
or contemporary?
What counts as contemporary?
I'm trying to think of a good like contemporary Christian artist like off the top of my head because I don't listen to a lot of contemporary.
Oh, you mean like just like contemporary like Christian music, like
yes,
Hillsong type of situation.
There we go.
Gospel all day. Give me a
Okay.
choir. This little praise team thing that we are going into these days.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the Mississippi Mass Choir, please.
Oh, you like the barking? Let's go. Let's
you
go.
Know, yeah, you know, and you know what, you know, I do like some of the new songs. They do have a couple of good ones, and you know, like what Kirk Franklin used to do. Not he's still doing it, you know, like ushering new waves of gospel music, but I definitely like his more like 90s 2000s era of mixing because it was still kind of like both, you know, you got the choir sound and the new sound. Now it's just a whole lot of new, and maybe I'm old, I don't know, but it just doesn't feel anointed like it did before.
You're right. Which when we did our Kirk Franklin discography, I was like, listen, I will put the family against Maverick City every single time.
Yes,
like
bring the family back. Like no shade to Maverick City, but like we need the family. We need the family.
You're
and
literally
right. we Hampton Concert Choir, we got to some of the alumni and then also like the current people. We sang at the White House. And we were supposed to sing with Maverick City, and like some of my friends were so excited, and I was like, I don't know if I'm as excited. Like they don't do it for me in the way that now if you told me Kirk Franklin was coming, yeah, it's lit. But like I don't know, you know, I like some of the songs, but they don't do it for me like a mass choir does me. You know, I'm not slaying in the spirit.
Hey, we are right here. You and I, we are right here. Okay. Favorite R&B group of all time?
Group. Destiny's Child.
Fair. Favorite R&B solo act?
Solo. Oh, that's so hard. Oh my gosh, that's so hard. KJ, what? You specifically formulated these questions to stump me.
Not to stump you, but to make you think a little bit.
I'm thinking for sure. I'm trying to think. I would say Mariah Carey.
Okay. That's a great answer.
She has the pen and the voice.
You ain't lying. You are not lying. All right. Favorite rapper, if you have one, and it can be male, female, don't matter, group, don't matter.
Favorite rapper. I don't listen to rap as much. Favorite rapper. You know, probably kind of Nicki Minaj. Kind of. Now, you know what? Now it's probably Megan Thee Stallion.
Okay. Oh, yep. Okay.
Yeah.
I got you. All right. Favorite pop artist of all time?
Me.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. Other than me, though, Rihanna for sure.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm her son. You know how Beyonce has Chloe and Halle. Okay. Rihanna doesn't know it yet, but she's going to have me. I am her Chloe and Halle.
I see it. I see that vision for you. Achieve it.
Thank you. Yes, I hope so too.
We got 3 more questions. All right.
Okay.
Favorite song to sing in the shower?
Wow. There's so many. I have like a party shower every time I'm in there, you know. Right now it's probably Tori Kelly's part of Bridge Over Troubled Water.
Okay.
And like I'm skipping her part. So I'm That's it.
I'm gonna definitely have to listen to that song as soon as we get off
And
here.
also, My Hair by Ariana Grande. She
Okay.
has like the whole end of the song, she sings in whistle tones, and that
Mm,
is really fun to do.
that's what's hey, that's what's up. That's what's up. If just off the top of your head, what is your favorite album of all time? If you can think about it.
My favorite album. Mine. Okay, wait, but no, for real. Um this is gonna sound so cliche, but I really like how Renaissance was like a whole thing. Like it wasn't just, it was like great in the music and the artistry and the musicianship. Like
Hmm.
all of that was amazing, but also just as an artist as a whole and creating a whole cultural phenomenon. Like you have every store selling something silver. Like this is the celebrity event. Like if you didn't go to the Renaissance concert, who are you? And what's
Right.
wrong with you type of thing. And I admire that. I would really like to be able to do something like that one day.
Uh, fair game. Fair game. And you
Yeah.
know what? I loved Renaissance so much. No shade to Cowboy Carter. I will say that I will, and I'm not a house music person, but I will listen
Mhm.
to Renaissance back to back because I've thought that she did something completely different with that album, and that
Mhm.
should have gotten freaking.
Yeah.
Let
Yep.
me lay it
Album of
on
the
the Grammys.
year.
I'm gonna get mad
Yep.
again,
And
but
she was album of the year because
yes,
that album was everywhere. And like you said, I'm not a house music person either. Like when I first heard Break My Soul, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this album because I'm not really a house girl. But like for an artist to be able to release an album, and this isn't a genre that everybody likes, but somehow everybody likes this album, and not just because it was released by you, like it
hmm,
genuinely is a good album that people love. That's so crazy to me. I want to be able to do that.
yeah. Absolutely. And I will go ahead and say this that Cowboy Carter needs to be album of the year the next time the Grammys roll around because no
You know
offense
they
to
won't.
Taylor. I know that they won't,
You
but
know
I'm
they
just gonna
won't.
say it like now that the latest Taylor album was Cheeks, and that's
I've only seen the promo for it, but I haven't been impressed. I was just saying, I don't know if you saw this tweet, but I was just saying how someone had tweeted about how like she's become, it sort of felt like she just became like the pop star overnight.
Mhm.
And I kind of, I just feel like she used to be like, whether or not you actually liked whatever genre she was pretending to be at the time, pop or country or whatever, like you still knew her songs.
Right.
Like you were like, oh, Taylor Swift is the songwriter. Like we know she's gonna be knocking out these songs back to back, like, and they're good. Now I feel like people, if you're not in that fan base or quite frankly of that skin color, you're not gonna like you're not gonna get the music in the same way. And I mean, and like that's
Mm,
such a contrast to like, Renaissance. Like it doesn't matter what type of music you like, what skin color you are, whether you like Beyonce or not. Like you knew the songs, you
yeah.
liked the songs. Whereas like Taylor Swift now, and that's no shade to her, she's still like, a great artist in her own right, a great songwriter in her own right. It takes a lot of talent to be able to knock out all the type of albums and songs and stuff that she does back to back. And I still got some of her songs saved from when I was younger, but I don't know. She just doesn't give me the same vibes that she used to. The quality isn't the same, I would say.
I I will say that even as someone who's not a Taylor fan, as you said in the past, like her past projects and past singles that she had, even I knew them. And
Yeah,
sometimes I would catch
everybody knew
myself
Love
singing.
Story.
Yeah, yes.
Mhm. You Belong with
And
Me.
mhm. And now I'm just like, I don't get it. I don't.
Hmm.
But again,
It's
as you
not the
stated,
same.
yeah, it appeals to a certain yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. And that's okay.
Yeah, that's
I feel
fine.
like every group has like their star. Like, the black community has people who like there are stars, and then like
Hmm.
we go outside of our community and people are like, who?
Yep.
Like, what do you mean you don't know this song?
You're absolutely right. Cause look, I could like use that as an example. Connection is unstable. Okay. Might have to cut that part. Are you still there?
Now I'm here. Yeah.
Okay. Yep, we had a little situation where my internet just decided to buffer all out of nowhere, but okay.
Okay. I was like, I
Uh
wonder if that was me or not.
yeah, but I will say this. I was just talking about how, I was talking about J. Cole in like some random argument. But it was
Mhm.
outside of my circle, and someone was like, wait, who's J. Cole? And I had to look like, what? Like, how do
Yeah.
you
Like,
not know
what?
about Jermaine at this point? But it was eye opening to see that this is a different culture, and
Mhm.
they may not know the same artist, but it's funny because they talked about a country star, and it wasn't Tim McGraw, it was Toby Keith, may he rest in piss, but. And I knew the name, like, because I already knew who he was, and
Mhm.
it was like, how do you know about Toby Keith? I'm like, am I not supposed to know about country stars, bro? Like, who
Mhm.
do you think started this joint? Which goes back to my whole argument about Cowboy Carter. But either way, like, he was just so shocked that I knew about it, but he had no idea who J. Cole was, and I was just kind of blown back about that. And I'm like, okay, well, we see, who really truly pays attention to music, but and maybe it's just me because I
Mhm.
love music, but
You do have a really like vast like repertoire
I
of
try.
knowledge about music, which I'm glad that you are, especially because you have a podcast that
Yes,
kind of
man.
centers on this.
Hmm.
And what did you major in? You were in band though, right?
I was in band, business administration. I was part of the 5-year MBA program. Theater was my minor. Against what my advisor said, who's actually the dean of the School of Business now, she actually told me, or she actually had advised against me picking up a minor. The only problem was that the classes I were taking in the School of Business were like, I was not good at accounting, so I had to do something to kind of like help uplift my GPA.
Accounting
And I
is
was like,
hard.
eh,
So
I
hard.
could write a book on about how much I hate accounting, but I ain't gonna get into that. Still, I picked up theater as a minor, and it was the best decision that I could make at the time. So yeah, and I've been again theater kid since I was 6, so it was right up my alley. With
Mm.
that in mind, Imogen, thank you for coming on the pod and having a wonderful conversation. We're going to go ahead and sign off. We're going to do the rundown first, and then we're going to sign off.
Okay.
Did you have any closing notes that you wanted to, present before we get up out of here?
Um, Follow me on Instagram at 143Imogen. Listen to my music. It's on all streaming platforms, except for one song, Coco, which it will be on my upcoming project. That is on YouTube. I did a
Mhm.
tiny desk.
She did.
And I guess just peace, light, and love. Do something nice today.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah, if y'all have not checked out her projects, please be sure that you go ahead and do so, and definitely check out that tiny home desk that she had. That song Coco is actually really really beautiful. So please be
Thanks.
sure that
It's
you check
about
it
my
out.
car.
Uh, I remember when you said it was about your car, like in the description, I was like, "This is a really beautiful song, and it's about her car." But you know what?
It doesn't
It's not.
sound like at all.
It doesn't.
Scusi
It doesn't.
said it's Scusi's beat, and he said this sounds like if Janet Jackson were to walk out right now. And I was like, it does. And like,
Mm.
everybody I sent the song to before I like recorded it, when I sent the idea, they were like, "This is such a sultry, sexy song." And I'm like, whole time is about how my engine is messed up.
That's crazy. That is really crazy, but it worked. It absolutely worked.
Yeah, if you want to know what Janet Jackson sounds like if she drove a Jeep, then listen to that song.
Man. All right. It's a wild comparison, but we here. Okay. All right, y'all. We're going to go ahead and do our rundown. For those who aren't familiar with the rundown, we name all of the podcast content creators, Black artists, and Black businesses that have either supported this podcast or have been on this podcast. Of course, we have to add a new name to the rundown as well. So Imogen's name will get added here at the very end.
Wow,
But
thanks.
Yes, ma'am. Of course, we are going to do the rundown of everything that has supported us. First and foremost, to Show Go High and Inside the Mind of a Blur. Those are the other two podcasts that I'm a part of. Please be sure that you check them out and join the Patreon for Inside the Mind of a Blur. The Patreon will be coming for Show Go High really soon. Big shout out to Mike Check, Waifu, Worst Generation Podcast, and Blanime Podcast. Those are 3 anime podcasts that I support as well. Please be sure that you check them out. Truth and Transparency Podcast with Brother X, the Cultured Scientist, and Mr. Smith. They are Hamptonians who pod. Please be sure that you check them out. Please be sure that you check out K Renee whenever she does drop her new podcast. But in the meantime, you can check out her novellas under the pen name Sedona Rose, which are all now available on Amazon Kindle. It's So Real with Raquel and Onaji, also Hamptonians who pod. Dad Needs to Talk with Rob, the father of Ash, another anime podcast that I support. Analytical, where shit gets critical. Geek Set Podcast. Anime Junkies 3 Weaves in a podcast who has a Hamptonian on that pod as well. Those anime girls, and of course, shout out to The Commute, which includes a frat brother of mine. For our black content creators, of course, Off Black Mag with Aaron, HBCU Anime with Evan, Yo to the Noobs, Sundari with Erica, Cerberus Entertainment, Tatted Poodle, The Geechee Gamer, Icarus Metro Comics with my boy Calvin, Hamptonian. Shout out to the gang Hubtaku. Shout out to Shelby with Simply Janine, Simply Baked, and Rose Left Traveled. Strange Keith with Idols to Icons. Toasty Marshmallow. By Simone Malcolm with Simone. None of My Friends Watch Anime by Courtney. Pfeiffer Rage by Phi. Chris Matarame with Chris. Sham with One Punch Sham. All collectively known as the Corner 5. Please be sure that you check out their Twitch streams, and to my boys Scuba Steve and Alpha with Blurred Mind Productions for our black artists. Definitely be sure that you continue to listen to NASA, Scoozy, Jack Union, Phil.me, Ellis Quinn, who actually just dropped an EP as well. Shout out to the 757 and the Petersburg area, and he's been doing a lot of music with Shelly, aka Drum. So please be sure that you check out his body of work. RJ Stackhouse, of course, to shout out to the boy Quarter, Tyrone Leak Jr., Ari Rochelle, Zach Hines, and Fortresses. Shout out to my girl Elena. Shout out to my girl Zaynab and Imogen. You already know. And for our black businesses, Already Paid with Dre, Fresheners, Righteous Minds with Timo, KSS Brand by Christina, Cream Cosmetics by Naima, Mind Over Money by Miss Tremaine, Studio Maho with Pat and Yin, Concept Moon, She Designs 2 with Aaron, Black Magic / Lit Wands with Low and T, H4 Creative with my girl Zenobia, Real Estate Stone by Meredith, Sold by Bell by Mariah, GVO or Good Vibes Only, again, NASA, Coasters Bar and Grill, and of course, Scrappy Sentiment with Sappy Soa, my other co-host. And be sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the Chaotic Culture Podcast on your favorite digital service provider or digital streaming platform. Be sure that you subscribe to the Patreon for early access to the podcast and bonus episodes to the podcast. Of course, you can subscribe at any of the 4 levels, be it $3, $5, $7, or $10. It does not matter. Once again, we still appreciate your support. You can follow the Chaotic Culture Podcast page on Facebook. You can also follow us on Instagram at Chaotic Culture Pod and follow us on X/Twitter at Chaotic_Culture. You can follow me, Ked the Pro, that's K3D the Pro, on all social media. You can follow Miss NASA at I'm the Caso on all social media. You can follow Law on Instagram at L.JR_96 and on Twitter at Law96_. You can follow Miss Sappy at Scraps14 and on all social media. You can follow Johnny, aka Jay, at J Lee Trey on all social media, and you can follow Scuba Steve at Scuba Steve 1428 on all social media. Once again, thank you, Imogen, for joining us on the Chaotic Culture Podcast, and this has been another edition of the Chaotic Culture Podcast. So until next time, folks, remember, embrace the culture, chaos rules, be blessed, be safe, God is love, be easy.
It's the KKP on your mother flipping airways. Hear the name ringing through the halls and the stairways. You were listening to a pod that can segue. All the latest topics guaranteed to fill your headspace. It's a safe place to voice your opinion. Say what you feel just like you're a kid again. Ked the Pro and friends black as obsidian. Chaotic culture, that's the world we living in. So what's the word?
You are now tuned in to the Chaotic Culture Podcast.